In this guide, why third-party cookie deprecation breaks federated login flows across the web, how FedCM introduces a browser-native identity primitive with an account chooser, credentialed requests, and origin-bound tokens, how the API flow works from navigator.credentials.get through IDP token issuance, and where FedCM is heading with multi-IDP support, lightweight credentials, and verifiable credential integration. Identity Expert, powering you to be an expert in identity. Here is the scenario. A user visits a news site they have been reading for years. They click Sign in with Google. Behind the scenes, the site opens a hidden iframe to accounts.google.com to check if the user has an active session, but the browser blocks it. Third-party cookies are gone. The iframe cannot read the Google session cookie because it is on a different origin. The silent login check fails. The site falls back to a full-page redirect, but the browser's bounce tracking protection flags the redirect chain as a tracking pattern and blocks it too. The user sees a broken login page. No error message, just nothing happens. This is not a hypothetical. As browsers phase out third-party cookies, every federated login flow that relies on hidden iframes or redirect chains to check sessions silently is breaking. Google sign-in, Facebook login, sign-in with Apple when embedded in third-party contexts, all of them depend on the browser allowing cross-origin cookie access. When that access disappears, the identity layer of the web disappears with it. FedCM, Federated Credential Management, is the browser's answer. Instead of identity providers sneaking session checks through cookies and iframes, the browser itself becomes the mediator. It provides a native API that shows the user an account chooser, fetches account information directly from the identity provider, and delivers a token to the relying party, all without any third-party cookie access. The browser sees the identity transaction. The identity provider cannot silently track across sites, and the user gets a clear, consistent login experience. Think of the old federated login system like passing notes through a hallway monitor at school. You are a student, the user. You want to send a note to a classroom, the relying party proving that you are enrolled. In the old system, you hand the note to the hallway monitor, the browser, but the hallway monitor does not just deliver the note. The monitor opens it, reads it, photocopies it, and keeps a record of every note you have ever sent and to whom. The classroom gets your note, but the hallway monitor now has a complete map of your social connections. That is how third-party cookies worked. The identity provider embedded an iframe on the relying party's site, and the browser carried cookies back and forth. But the cookies were not sealed. The browser infrastructure allowed any intermediary to observe and correlate the identity flow. Now imagine a diplomatic pouch system. You write your note, seal it in a tamper-proof pouch, and hand it to a diplomatic courier. The browser's FedCM API, the courier delivers the sealed pouch directly to the classroom. The courier knows a delivery happened, the browser sees the transaction, but the courier cannot read the contents, cannot photocopy the note, and does not keep a record of your social graph. The classroom opens the pouch and gets your proof of enrollment. That is FedCM. The browser acts as a trusted courier that mediates the identity exchange without enabling silent tracking. The identity provider never gets silent access to the relying party's context. The relying party gets the token it needs, and the user sees exactly what is happening through the browser's native account chooser, no hidden iframes, no invisible cookie exchanges. 3 gaps converge to break federated identity on the modern web. Gap 1, third-party cookie deprecation kills silent login. Federated identity providers like Google and Facebook embed invisible iframes on relying party sites to check if the user has an active session. These iframes read cookies from the identity provider's origin. When browsers block third-party cookies, the iframe cannot access the session cookie and the silent login check fails. Every site using this pattern loses its seamless sign-in experience. Gap 2, bounce tracking protection blocks redirect flows. The fallback for iframe-based login is redirect-based. The relying party redirects the user to the identity provider, the user authenticates, and the identity provider redirects back with a token. But browsers now classify multi-hop redirect chains as potential bounce tracking and may block or warn on them. A legitimate login redirect becomes indistinguishable from an ad tech tracking redirect. Gap 3, no browser-native identity primitive exists. The web platform has native APIs for storage, networking, media, and payments, but not for identity. Federated login has always been built on top of cookies, redirects, and pop-ups, mechanisms designed for other purposes, and now being restricted for privacy reasons. Without a purpose-built identity API, there is no privacy-preserving path for federated login to survive cookie deprecation. FedCM fills this gap by adding identity as a first-class browser capability. FedCM introduces a browser-mediated identity flow with 6 steps. Step 1. The relying party calls navigator.credentials.get, passing a federated credential request that includes the identity provider's config URL and the relying party's client ID. This is the entry point, a standard web credentials API call. Step 2. The browser fetches the identity provider's well-known configuration file. This file lives at a well-known path on the identity provider's domain and declares the provider's account's endpoint, token endpoint, and branding information like name, logo, and colors. Step 3. The browser calls the identity provider's account's endpoint with the user's cookies, but only from the browser process, not from the relying party's JavaScript context. The identity provider returns the list of accounts the user is signed into. Step 4. The browser displays a native account chooser. This is browser-controlled UI, not an iframe, not a pop-up from the identity provider's domain. The user sees their accounts and selects one. No JavaScript on the page can interfere with or observe this chooser. Step 5. The browser sends a credentialed post to the identity provider's token endpoint. The request includes the selected account ID, the relying party's client ID, and a nonce. The identity provider validates the request and returns an ID token. Step 6. The browser delivers the ID token to the relying party's JavaScript through the resolved promise. The relying party validates the token, checking the signature, audience, issuer, and nonce, and completes the sign-in. The identity provider never had JavaScript access to the relying party's page. The relying party never had cookie access to the identity provider. The browser mediated every step. Let us look at the two key payloads on the wire. First, the JavaScript API call. The relying party calls navigator.credentials.get with a federated provider configuration. The config URL points to the identity provider's well-known FedCM manifest. The client ID identifies the relying party. The nonce provides replay protection. This call triggers the entire browser-mediated flow. Second, the identity provider's token response. After the user selects an account, and the browser sends the credentialed request to the IDP's token endpoint, the identity provider returns a response containing the ID token. Inside that token, a standard JWT, you will find the issuer matching the identity provider's origin, the subject identifying the user, the audience matching the relying party's client ID, the nonce matching the one from the original request, the issued at timestamp, and the expiration. The relying party validates all of these fields. The audience check prevents token misuse across different relying parties. The nonce prevents replay attacks. And because the browser controlled the entire request flow, the identity provider could not embed tracking pixels, read the relying party's cookies, or fingerprint the user's browsing context. Threat 1. Identity provider tracking via FedCM requests. A malicious identity provider could use FedCM token requests to correlate user activity across relying parties. Each token request reveals which relying party the user is visiting. Mitigation. The browser mediates all requests and enforces user gesture requirements. The identity provider only receives requests when the user explicitly interacts with the account chooser. No silent background requests, no passive tracking. Threat 2. Relying party fingerprinting via account enumeration. A malicious relying party could call the FedCM API repeatedly to discover which identity providers and accounts a user has, building a fingerprinting vector. Mitigation. The API requires a user gesture, a click or tap before triggering the flow. The browser rate limits requests and does not reveal account information to JavaScript until the user makes a selection. Threat 3. Token injection if the identity provider endpoint is compromised. If an attacker compromises the IDP's token endpoint, they could issue fraudulent ID tokens for any user. Mitigation. Tokens are origin-bound. The audience claim locks the token to a specific relying party. The relying party must validate the token's signature against the IDP's published keys, and the nonce binds each token to a specific authentication session. Threat 4. Timing attacks on the account chooser. An attacker could measure how long the account chooser is displayed to infer whether the user has accounts with specific identity providers. Mitigation. The browser controls the UI rendering and timing. The API returns the same timing characteristics regardless of how many accounts exist, and the promise does not resolve until the user interacts. FedCM is evolving rapidly across 3 fronts. First, multi-IDP support. The current API supports requesting credentials from a single identity provider per call. Multi-IDP mode will let relying parties pass an array of providers, and the browser will show accounts from all of them in a single unified chooser. Users pick an account regardless of which identity provider issued it. Second, lightweight credentials mode. For simple use cases that do not require full OIDC token exchange, like age verification or basic identity attestation, lightweight mode allows identity providers to return simple signed assertions without the full token endpoint round trip. This reduces latency and complexity for constrained scenarios. Third, integration with verifiable credentials and digital wallets. As browser-based digital wallets mature, FedCM's credential chooser can present not just traditional identity provider accounts, but also verifiable credentials stored in the user's wallet. A user could sign in with a government-issued digital ID, a university credential, or an employer attestation. All through the same browser UI. The direction is clear. FedCM is not just replacing third-party cookies for federated login. It is building the browser's identity layer, a native, privacy-preserving substrate for every kind of credential exchange on the web. All primary sources cited in this guide are on screen now. You will find the FedCM specification from the W3C Federated Identity Community Group, the Chrome developers' documentation with implementation guides and code samples, the Privacy Sandbox timeline for third-party cookie deprecation milestones, and the OpenID Connect core specification that FedCM tokens are compatible with. Direct links are in the video description. If this breakdown clarified how FedCM replaces cookie-based federated login and why the browser needed a native identity API, subscribe to Identity Expert. We cover one identity deep dive every week. Thanks for watching. If there is an identity standard, browser API, or security pattern you want us to break down next, drop it in the comments. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an Identity Expert episode.